Hello, good afternoon, everybody here inside the Dynamite Effect. It is good to have you here. And I am here live in my office today, and it is Monday. So happy Monday, Mindset Mentor. I am here, and we're going to share some value with you today. Firstly, I hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope that this Monday is bright, sunshine, and you are ready to go towards your goals. Now, today what I'm going to be talking about is a very short lesson from one of Bob's books. I just grabbed it here from the bookshelf, and it is the ABCs of Success. And I thought, what should we talk about today? Well, let's see what I'm being attracted to. And the page that I have been attracted to is all about decisions. And the question I pose to you today, going into this new week, going into this new day, is to really ask yourself, how can I position myself to make better decisions this week that are going to propel me closer towards my goal? Now, here's a fun fact, okay? Did you know that you make over 32,000 decisions in one day? Yes, that almost seems hard to believe, and yet it has been shown through study, through analysis, and through understanding. So 32,000 decisions a day you're making. Now, here's the critical component. Are any of those decisions firstly coming from your own thinking, or are you asking other people for those decisions, or are you making decisions in habit? So many people are making decisions purely out of habit. And that's because 96 to 97% of everything we do is out of habitual habit. So moving into this week compared to last week could very much kind of pan out the same, unless something changes at the root cause. And of course, that is always going to be your thinking, what your beliefs are. And I really want you today to think about this decision making and thinking about, are you even making decisions on the right things? See, when I think about decisions, and I think about you as an individual, whether you're part of a team, maybe you're a leader of a team, maybe you're the leader of a family, whatever the place, position that you're in, you're definitely making decisions. Everybody does. You can't get away from it. But you may also be in a position where you have to make decisions on different, let's put them into categories, right? So on a daily basis, you decide every morning when you wake up, what am I going to wear today, right? What am I going to walk to work, take the car? What am I going to have for breakfast? These are all little micro decisions that when you put them all together, it really constitutes, you hopefully having clothes on and having fed your body and moving into the world. Those are decisions that are very important, but they're not maybe decisions that are going to make a huge incremental or a huge jump in your performance or your income or any of your results in a week. You might be a leader of a company and you might be making decisions at a very high level that really impact and affect maybe other people's lives, other people's roles, and so on. So I think it's important that you understand that you've got to figure out where your energy is best positioned and the decisions that only you maybe need to be focusing on making, and other decisions that maybe you can delegate out, right? So here's my example. Have you ever noticed, or you can put your hand up here in the chat box, but have you ever noticed Simon Cowell always wears black t-shirts? Now you're going to be going, Kim, where is this going to? But I'll tell you the method behind the madness. You'll notice certain people, Simon Cowell's a great example, okay? Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent, everybody here should know who that is. And he's notorious for wearing the same black t-shirts all of the time, right? I wear a lot of black t-shirts. Today I'm wearing one that says Major, right? But the reason, because I've seen this, I've seen a lot of very successful people, and I've noticed certain things. One, they always wear roughly the same clothes. They always eat usually the same things. And when I started to really notice this, I started to think, wow, why would you want to wear the same t-shirt all the time? Or why would you just want to know what you're going to eat? And it's just kind of, it seemed boring to me. Then I started to understand. People at a very high level reserve their energy for the bigger decisions that are going to have a higher impact, whether that's on their income or whether that's on another measurable metric. Okay, I'm just using income as an example. And they use less energy for the little simple decisions. So I seen Simon Cowell talk about this in an interview, and what he explained, which made total sense, was why would I exhaust mental energy every day on choosing what to wear when I could reserve that energy for other decisions that are going to make a greater impact on either himself or the rest of the world? And suddenly the penny dropped. If he wears the same black t-shirt every day, there's none of this standing, looking in the wardrobe, what'll I wear, what'll I not wear, I wore that yesterday, or XYZ. It's fast, it's instant, it's get on with the goal producing activities. And whilst this might seem really small and kind of like, why are you teaching me this? I think it is brilliant. It's something that I've implemented in my life because it speeds things up. I reserve my energy, so when it comes to business decisions, life decisions, then I can put more energy into that camp and be able to get answers much quicker and make decisions much quicker. And that's something that maybe you could do this week, streamline your week. Now, if you don't want to wear a black t-shirt every day, I get that. But maybe something you should do is pick the clothes that you're going to wear the next day, the night before. Okay? Simple things like that is going to help you preserve your energy for the bigger decision-making opportunities that are going to arise for you today. Okay. Now, the number one success habit of all success people, Napoleon Hill's wrote about it, Bob Proctor's talked about it. Every successful person has talked about decision-making. It is the number one success habit. Now, think about that for a second. How many books or seminars or things have you went to looking for, what are these success habits? Anywhere I go to speak, people ask me, Kim, what is your routine? How do you manage your day? What are the things that you do that make you successful? And I would still say it comes down to being able to make decisions fast and change them slowly, if at all. Now, the problem in that is most people are not in the habit of making decisions. Why? We were never taught it. Okay, you and I were probably brought up, possibly the same, where you maybe asked mom and dad's advice. Or actually, let's put that in a better perspective. You didn't ask, they told you what to do. You need to go to this school. You need to work hard. You need to study. You need to get your exams. You need to do this, this, and this so you can get this. And a lot of the times in our early years, we were not actually encouraged to make our own decisions. And then we go on other people's ideas. Then when you grow up into an adult and you don't have a parent telling you what to do anymore, we kind of go, oh, well, what am I going to do? So what happens then is we start to look around us and we ask other people that we love or trust. That could be a husband, a wife, a family member, friends. It could be anybody. The point that I'm trying to make is that is not serving you simply because then you're not thinking. And if you're not exercising your decision-making muscle, it will go weak like any other muscle. So then what happens if you practice that and you're making 32,000 decisions a day, if some of those you're not even making, then that muscle becomes weak. And then when it comes to an opportunity, and by the way, guys, there's opportunities right now in front of you. There's opportunities everywhere in this world. But only if you're open to receive the opportunities will they come to you or you'll become aware of it. And then you're posed with a decision. Nothing happens until you make the decision. And the only prerequisite to making a decision is, do you want it? Do you want the outcome of whatever this will create? And a lot of people struggle with this. They struggle making a decision fast. Now, I always say to people, the key is making your decision fast and changing it slowly, if at all. And that's not always easy because sometimes you're like, well, I need to sleep on it or I need to think about it. But really sit and ask yourself, what is there to think about? If everything is created in the now and you're going to think about it, well, you're going to think about it with the same thinking and the same mindset that you have now that you will have next week. So why not just make the decision right away? The quicker you make decisions, the quicker the next part of the situation unfolds. And that's what actually manifests and speeds up momentum. Now, in this little book that I lifted up, it says, I once heard it said that the world will forgive you if you make mistakes, but that life will not forgive you if you fail to make decisions. That is one incredible quote because it's so true. There's a lot of people are fearful of making the wrong decision, fearful of if I do this, what might happen? And the real truth is, guys, you don't know what's going to happen. But we know through science and research that whatever your most dominant belief is, then that is going to happen. So if you really believe that by doing this, this is going to happen, pretty much 100% that will happen. Now, it doesn't say whether that's negative or positive, and this is the beautiful thing. You can learn to make decisions and back them with a belief that is really charged with positive energy. And that's where I call making decisions through faith, making decisions through understanding. And ultimately, you're always going to be guessing. But here's a little example that I think is great for you to try at home. It says, with all the material that has been written on the subject of personal power, I seldom hear that decision making is the first principle in the development of your personal power. So Bob's writing this and he's saying when people are wanting to increase personal power, have more confidence, have more leadership, feel strong and confident in where they're going in life, they seldom make decision making the first principle, and yet they should. They say the fear of making decision is the result of fearing to make a mistake. The fear of mistakes has a greater impact on you than making the mistakes. Now think about that. So let's say you are maybe deciding right now, I'm going to step out. I'm going to go and achieve my goal. I'm going to open that business. I'm going to move on this idea. I'm going to start something. But you haven't yet made the committed decision within your own heart that you're going to do it. And maybe the thought of, well, what this might happen and this might happen, and this mistake might happen. You see, by having the thought that it might cause a mistake, or you internalize or think about the fear that might happen, I want you to realize that the amount of time that you spend thinking about the worst case scenario is actually causing more harm than going out and taking that chance on yourself. Because the mind only listens to what you feed it. The mind does not think about what's going on in the outside world. Your conscious mind uses your senses to analyze and look at, well, this might happen and that might happen. But here's the thing. Your subconscious mind hasn't a clue. Now, if you look at this might happen and you start to entertain that thought, your subconscious mind is taking that on board as if it is happening. So what I'm trying to say to you is, I wouldn't spend much time thinking about what might happen, like the fear of, well, if I do this and this doesn't work. Don't spend any time in that area, because you're literally putting your body through an experience as if that outcome that is negative has already happened. So actually, you haven't made the decision to go for it, but you're actually causing the fear that you're trying to run away from or escape from, if that makes sense to you. So the only thing that you should do is think about, what will happen if this works? What will be the outcome if this goes exactly to plan? And if you can sit and visioneer that, write out all the benefits of what could happen, and you start to feel that and experience that in your mind, and then you make the decision, you can be rest assured that everything will line up exactly how you need it to be to create that outcome. Now, this is something that only you're going to believe if you practice. So I want you this week to think about something maybe that's happening this week that you need to make a decision on. And I want you to spend some time, 5-10 minutes every day this week, imagining what that outcome will be like in the positive if you move on it. Okay? And I want you to see that in your mind. I want you to run through the image of when I make the decision to do it. Maybe it's a decision you've been putting off. Maybe it's a decision you've kept putting back to the back of your mind and you're trying to ignore. Well, I can tell you now, you might have put it in the back of your mind, but it's still in your mind. And if it's still in your mind and it's maybe something you're putting off because you don't really want to go near there, then I can tell you now it's blocking you. Okay? It's blocking you from receiving other opportunities, other anything coming towards you, because it's like a little block in the pipe and you've got to clear that out. So my thought always is, instead of leaving something in like no man's land, indecision, just decide I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Because by making that decision, you're going to clear it from the back of your mind, which gives you more space in your mind, which means you're going to be more open to receiving new ideas. So there's something that you're putting off, or there's a decision that is going to propel you forward and you just haven't went for it yet. Well, I want you today. So whether it's a decision that maybe, it's not maybe a comfortable one, maybe it has more of a negative energy attached to it. If that's one, or if it's a decision about moving you forward, it doesn't really matter what camp it's in. More than likely, you're making it bigger than what it is. More than likely, your mind has created scenarios of what possibly could go wrong. And what I'm trying to teach you today is allowing your mind to run little stories, change the narrative, create a negative charge, potentially, usually is stimulated by fear. You're actually doing more harm. So what I want you to do is I want you for 5 to 10 minutes every day this week, sit with a decision that you have got to make, okay? I want you to write out everything that could be incredible about making this decision. So if it's a decision to start your business, then I want you to write out the income that you could earn. Okay. Now you're making this up. Okay. You don't sit and say, well, after taxes, or, well, if it's like this, like, what is the dream? Okay. Well, I could earn this. I could have more spare time with the family. I could do this. I could do that. It is the outcome that you're going after. You don't need to know how, but you just need to know what that looks like for you, the end result. And then I want you to see that in your mind's eye. And then by the end of this week, okay, give yourself a deadline. It might be Thursday, it might be Friday. But before Friday, you're going to act on those decisions. I want you to be accountable. Maybe even in this video underneath, type and be accountable to me. Let me know, what decision do you need to make? And I want you to give yourself a command and follow it through. That's discipline. Because if you don't, it might be next week, it might be next Monday, it might be a Monday next month where we're talking and you still haven't made that decision. And nothing else can flow to you until you start making these decisions faster. So don't waste time and energy on little decisions in your life, like what you're going to eat for dinner or what you're going to wear. This is something that high performers are always working on. They know exactly what they're going to eat, usually all week. They have it all planned. They have their schedule planned. When you don't have to get up in the morning and decide what you're going to do because you've already it mapped out, you are saving so much thought energy, so that when these decisions that you know you probably need to make to either let go of something from the past or to grab on something from the future, then you've got room to think about it. You've got energy to move it into action. So decide today, I am drawing a line in the sand. I'm going to make a decision. Type into the chat box and let me know what that decision is. And then come back on Friday under your post and let me know either yes, you've done it, or no, you haven't. And my honest opinion is that it's better to say no than to just put it to the back of your mind, because there's no such thing. Okay. If you're not going to do something, like go to the gym, how long have you been talking about that for? How long have you been talking about eating healthy? There's loads of things in your life that instead of just fibbing to yourself, oh, I'm going to do that next week. Just say, no, I'm going to make the decision that I'm going to start at this date, or I'm not going to start at all. Because if you keep telling yourselves little lies, then you're not going to have any self-respect for yourself. And then when you make a decision to go for your goal or move forward in your life, you might be prone to go, well, I don't know if I can. And the reason that you have lack of self-confidence is because we don't make decisions to stick to them. So my advice to you this week is preserve your energy on the little decision making that you've got to do on a day-to-day basis. Line out your clothes for the week, decide what you're going to eat, organize your work or your schedule, then move into action. And just one larger decision this week. I want one that you've maybe been putting off, or one that is going to advance you forward. What is that going to be? Put yourself on the hook. Write out all the possibilities that by just that one mental move, and that's all a decision is, if you go for it, this is what is potential for you. Now, that's your task for this week. If you don't do it, that's up to you. But that's what I do as a high performer. That is without a doubt the number one success habit. So there you have it. Decision making 101. What are you going to do this week? How are you going to apply it to your life? Come back, give me feedback. Let me know who's accountable. Let me know who wants to actually make a decision. Comment below. I will be watching. And then come back by Friday and let us know that you've done that. Decision making, without a doubt, is the only thing that's going to get the momentum of energy moving you forward. You cannot get ahead of life by avoiding it. So know that, and know when you need to delegate other decisions to your team members. Maybe there's some decisions you're making that just isn't where you're at. Maybe that should be delegated. Maybe you're making too many decisions in your corporation or your company, and that should be maybe other people. You can give personal power to your managers, your teams, your leaders by giving them some authority to make decisions. So lots on decision making today, guys. Make it, move on it, and come back and let me know what you're accountable to. Have an awesome week, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye.